2 of 3. They come in 8-5. Home record of 4-2. First place in the South. Leading 3-0 on a 44-yard field goal by Fairbairn. But here comes Tua Tagovailoa. 2nd down 5. First play. Second quarter. Mostert. And he's following a block, and down he goes. And hit on the play by Christian Harris, who is back. He hasn't played all season. The linebacker Harris, 48, led the Texans in tackles a year ago. He's been injured on IR and activated today and playing.
Yeah, they're excited to have him back. The third-year player is really much needed when you consider what they have missing on defense. And
first down and 10. Mostert getting the 7 yards right there. Paul the block. Underneath they go. Washington with a hit right there by Ward. Down to the 25 on a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Well, Paramount Plus streams the NFL on CBS every Sunday. At home or on the go. From the late season playoff push, which we are right in, right through the AFC Championship game.
And Kevin, when I say players missing defensively, Jalen Petrie's on the IR because of the pec injury, so he's going to miss at least 4 games. And then Azeez Al-Shaair, the hit that he had on Trevor Lawrence before the bye week is a 3-game suspension.
2nd and 5, plugged up. Mostert, no place to go right there. Hit in the middle and thrown backwards. Hit Anderson and others in there. Nice hit by Settle. And now it'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, so much attention gets placed on the edges with Hunter and Anderson, but Settle is having an outstanding season. And when you're able to get penetration in the middle of the offensive line, both in pass rushing and in the run game, it gives you nowhere to go.
So Jonnu Smith caught one for 9. Achane for 9 and 13-yard receptions. Mostert for 7. Washington 5. 3rd and 7. Tried started back at the 18. Paul the block. Tua on the move. And flag thrown. Cracked as he hit the 21.
Well, I know it's a collective holding of breath by the Dolphins, their sideline and fans, when Tua went head first into that, trying to go for the first down and gets up clean. But I think it's a holding call. When he scrambled out of the pocket, that's when the flag came in. I would think you take the penalty, even though it's 4th down. It'd be 4th and short to where they could potentially go for it. But also, if you're talking about field goal range, you're trying to push them back.
Holding. Offense number 65. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
That's the left guard Robert Jones, who has started every game for the Dolphins. Guilty there. Offensive line didn't allow a sack last week against the Jets. Hard crack right there, too, on Tua. That was by Mario Edwards.
Kevin, we've talked to about, we've had the Dolphins a couple times since he's returned from IR and the concussion that he had earlier in the year, and it's like, the competitive nature takes over. It's just human nature, right? You want to go for the first down, and yes, you want to protect yourself. But when you're happening in fractions of second and making those decisions, that time there he went head first and went for it, and fortunately came out of it clean and didn't get injured.
Achane the back, 10 touches already. 3rd and 17, they need the 20. Achane. And from behind, brought down by Hunter. Hit by Lassiter. Down at the 37, losing a yard. 4th down.
Kevin, that's the thing that Melanie told us earlier in the game about D'Amico Ryans. He said, don't get caught with all the eye candy. Watch as they come out, they look left, they come back, they set the screen up right. Don't get fooled by all the misdirection, and he's got to be very happy with his defense right there. Not following the eyes and the actions of what we're going on offensively, but tracking the football with your eyes and making the tackle.
Jason Sanders has hit 6 consecutive field goals from 50 yards or more. This is a 55-yarder to tie it. Indoors. Trills it. And the Dolphins.
He was thinking that the Giants weren't going to have a lot of chance against Baltimore. Right now, that's playing out.
Mixon 1st and 10. Wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Well played by Brooks. And on that play, Mixon, Mel, is going to lose 2.
Yeah, guys, an update on the Texans defensive line. Fularonzu Fadukazi just spent an extended period of time in the blue medical tent. He was then taken into the locker room to be looked at further. He was limited Wednesday, Thursday with a foot injury. Practiced in full on Friday, but I'm told this is an ankle injury, and he is questionable. And then defensive tackle Mario Edwards just went into the tent for Houston as well, but came out and gave a thumbs up, so he looks good to go.
That's good. And now Mixon is down. Indispensable. Joe walking off under his own power. Joe Mixon with a noticeable limp being looked at. Pierce is the new running back. 2nd and 12. Low throw. Grabbed by Collins and hit by a couple, including Job Robinson. And he's at the 25. We're going to go to our rules analyst now, Gene Steratore, to take a look at that last tackle by Brooks on Mixon. And the drop tackle, the hip drop tackle, is something we're all talking about this season, Gene.
Yes, Kevin, and the way I see it is that you have to have the wrap, which we have by Brooks. Then you have the unweighting, which he does here. You see him unweighting, and then you have him landing or making contact with the back of the legs, which is that safety element. It meets all 3 of those indicators to me, and I think that is a hip drop tackle when you take a look at it.
3rd and 15, Gene, we thank you. Here's the pressure. There's the throw. Incomplete for Collins. With a couple guys in the vicinity, including Ramsey. Incomplete. It's 4th and 15. Mixon is on the bench being looked at, and there he is in the punting unit out there for Houston.
Well, it obviously was a good stop for the Dolphins. The fact that the Texans are punting is not a positive thing, but that right there, Joe Mixon with his head down over on the sidelines, and that's why we thought it was important to bring Gene in to explain there's 3 things that have to be considered when you're talking about hip drop tackle. The penalty was not called. Now, maybe something he'll be fined for after the game, but there are 3 elements, and all 3 elements were there.
Tommy Towns in the punt. Here comes Washington, who had that terrific return last week, and he was brought down on the play by the special teamer Stewart.
They need to win out, and they need to get some help from some other teams. And now, mathematically, I know what you're saying. They can still get there at 9-8. But I think when you look at the big picture of it all and who's ahead of them, they have to win this.
1st and 10, Tua for Hill, overshoots him. Flag thrown. Bullock was on the coverage across the way for the Texans.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 97. 15-yard penalty, first down.
On Mario Edwards, off the defensive line of the Texans.
You're going to see Edwards working against Eichenberg right up the middle. My guess is what they're saying is it was a helmet-to-helmet contact. And you can see the official take his hand to the brim of his hat.
Yes.
As he was describing it. No, that wasn't a very hard hit, but by the rule, when you go helmet to helmet, it's just the way they're protecting quarterbacks now.
Mostert the back. 1st and 10, Mostert with an in-goal block. And Paul in there blocking along with Brewer, and Millie's out to the 46 on a gain of 5.
Well, Kev, a quick update here on Joe Mixon. He initially came over to the Texans bench, had his head down. It appeared he was in a lot of pain, but the athletic trainers weren't looking at anything in particular. It seemed like he just needed a moment to gather himself. He then grabbed his helmet, walked back over to the bench to rejoin the offense. He and Tank Dell just shared a lap, so a good sign. It appears he's going to try and return.
2nd down 5. Mel, we thank you. And incomplete for Waddle. Coverage by Lassiter. And just a note on Mixon, he missed some time early in the season with an ankle injury. Week 2, you may recall, after the big opening game of the season, yardage gain for him, and that was a hip drop by T.J. Edwards of the Chicago Bears.
And he missed 3 games, right? He's only played
3, 4, and 5.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. So maybe he just needed a second, because you could see as Gene pointed out, the weight landing on the back of his legs.
3rd and 5, messy pocket, look out! Anderson knocked it away. That ball is alive! And it's recovered by Settle. Fumble by Tua.
Well, first it's Fatukasi coming up the middle. That's where the pressure happens. He pushes Eichenberg right back into the lap of Tua. Watch the pressure coming up the middle. And then Anderson around to the outside gets the hit. It actually was Autry against Eichenberg up the middle, getting that initial pocket push. And then Anderson coming from behind, getting the sack fumble, forced fumble, giving the Texans great field position.
At the Fins, 28. Mixon is in. 1st and 10. Fake to him. C.J. Stroud. And grabbed by Dell. Hit by Fuller. First down reception. At the 13-yard line. Gain of 14 through the air on a first down.
Well, and Kevin, this is how the Texans have won all season long, right? They're plus 10 in turnover ratio coming into today. Taking advantage of other people's mistakes. That's a 25th takeaway on the season. Tank Dell, great job working that sideline, keeping his feet in bounds.
Now a takeaway for 9 consecutive games. 1st and 10. Mixon in and the call. The cut. Got by Bell. And hit right there by Ramsey and wrestled out of bounds. With a gain of about a yard near the 12. 2nd down.
Well, normally you would think, as you see Poyer going to the inside, that takes away the inside lane. Normally you would think a guy like Mixon's size and gets a cornerback, but Jalen Ramsey is one of the biggest corners in the NFL and has never shied away from contact with a good tackle stretching it out of bounds.